many of y'all have a passive aggressive mom or parent? I'm talking, you cannot walk around the living room without them being like, I guess we're just gonna live with the countertops being this dusty because no one ever wants to help me around here. I guess you guys just hate me because you'll just be fine with me living in this dusty environment to die. Well, then a little trigger warning to anybody who has ever grown up with like the quintessential, if not passive aggressive parent, you've been exposed to like maybe the passive aggressive teacher, someone you spend, intimate familial environments with, and their passive aggression has made this just a place you do not want to go home to. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people will be able to relate to this. And so when I saw this mother perform this quote unquote prank on her family, I guess I just need some help understanding the joke. So let's watch this together, and you guys tell me how this prank works. I don't get it.
You want cheese? You want cheese? You? Can I please have both?
These kids are so tiny. So she's just like slapping the food around really hard, and everything that she asks in serving the dinner, it has a bite to it. You can tell the older of the very tiny children is like, on my best behavior, I'm going to ask for what I would like as politely as possible because I'm scared. Like, I'm on eggshells. One of them has already asked so far, are you okay? And she doesn't respond.
I can do it. Pepperoni?
That's hot, man. I can grab it. Good one.
Do you want ranch?
Yes, please.
You?
Yep.
That good? You want more?
Okay, babe?
Everyone else gets to be naughty. Why can't mom?
Okay, so now that we all watched this, and you guys, some of you must totally get it. My dumb brain still, I guess I'm just not getting it. The prank was, I don't get it. Look, I've read a lot of books about comedy. Okay, I understand the rule of threes, the need for a safety net for a joke to be funny. What was the joke? And I think it's pretty plain to see that she really gave herself away in the end there, didn't she? When she ended up saying, everyone else gets to be naughty, so why don't I? It's very clear that this is not a prank, this is a punishment. For what? Remains to be properly communicated. This is why you see everyone there looking at each other and trying to figure it out. In fact, this is not a prank, this is gaslighting. This has very likely happened to the majority of you, where a person does things like this in order to make you feel like you did something wrong. I've literally even had people admit, because it does happen, if you wait long enough, these people always tell on themselves. I had been dating this guy who had been constantly gaslighting me, and I was starting to call him out on it. I didn't have a word for it yet, but when I had started to be like, I just feel like you accuse me of things, you just make things up just to see if I'll do something. And he was like, yes, I just throw things your way just to gauge your reaction to see if I'm right or not. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you're just trying to start fights, basically. I like couldn't wrap my mind around this concept. And that's what is appearing to happen here. The thing that really bothers me is, you guys know that I don't like partner shaming. Like, yes, these are grown men and grown women. I don't necessarily need to white knight for them, but it's It's an icky concept, and the reason that I don't like people getting away with it is because I wouldn't like it happening to me. If someone was recording me and shaming me on the internet to laugh at me and patronize me, I would hope that people would be sticking up for me even if they didn't know who I was, to be like, why are you doing this to this person? I don't like it. I especially don't like it when it's your kids. Why are you fucking with your kids? I'm a big believer that the punishment should fit the crime in some way. If you scribble on the walls with some crayon, all right, I'm handing you a magic eraser and we're gonna get her done together. Okay, like, you're gonna scrub this off with me. Some things, they don't even need you to add an additional consequence. Sometimes there's just natural consequences, right? Like, you want to try to sneak your video games or your book and stay up late, like, you're the one who's gonna be tired tomorrow. But if you are going to give a punishment, at least distinctly explain it, right? Even if it doesn't fit the crime, at least explain it. Like, listen, because you've been so disrespectful with me today in general, you are losing the privilege of this iPad. It doesn't exactly fit the crime, but at least you've distinctly explained yourself. In this situation, no one knows why they're being punished. If it is a punishment, who among them the punishment is specifically intended for? Is it all of us? Was there a straw that broke the camel's back? How can we repair it? It's just vaguely throwing around vitriol. And then to find out that the ultimate end game is just clicks on TikTok? Mom, are you unhinged? Do we need to get you into a home early? Because what kind of mental gymnastics led you from point A to point B? Like, why is this what you think about doing during the day? It's just fascinating. And when we go into the comments, she's laughing at a lot of these. She's like, ha ha ha, this is so funny. Throwing the ranch on the table was so funny. She like laugh reacts to that. Instead of getting angry at you for being angry, your husband remained calm and respectful. I know it's a joke, but that speaks volumes. To which she like applauds. I mean, I think this very next comment kind of speaks to more of what's going on here than like, Jesus, we're the ones as women who are like, the bar is so low, the bar is so low. So our idea to raise the bar is by putting our husbands through weird, borderline, torturous tests of gaslighting just to see if they'll behave. That's so twisted. What you're describing is not like a standard method of discernment in mating strategy, which is normal. I think that to a degree we should all be looking for specific characteristics and avoiding other characteristics and being very naturally discerning. That's one thing. But to promote gaslighting and pushing people to their limits, mistreating them deliberately for the sake of ensuring that they're still well behaved, that's what's happening, isn't it? This was a test wherein a man was pushed in front of his children to be completely like mistreated, and it's also like she's invoking fear, and these are behaviors that are praised. This is interesting. Rob says both are at fault, the husband as well. I'm interested in how you think so, because I don't know what the dad and the husband could have done much better here. I guess the one better thing would have been after like the fourth item was thrown, I think a gentle touch to the arm and going, hey babe, I think we need to step out and have a conversation before dinner gets started. That's what my husband would do, honestly. Because I'll be honest, I'm not a perfect person. Every once in a while I will start getting an attitude, and if I do, and if it's in front of the kids, I'm not saying my husband scolds me, right? But I do get the look, and I'll get the, do we need to step out and have a conversation before this continues? And it gets shut down.
You ruined it. You ruined it, and I'm leaving.
I think that's like the one thing the dad could have done better, but I'm not really going to fault him for giving her an extra opportunity, especially if this is incredibly abnormal behavior. He's like, usually she pulls it together by now. So, what's happening here? I'm going to check real quick if there was ever any follow-up, because from what I remember, this was like a very small. Oh, no, never mind. This is not a very small account. These folks have like 150,000 followers. So, okay, they're just always posting. Oh, they're one of those. I don't know how I feel about this then. I'll give you a quick little glance over at this profile. So, we're selling some things. The kids, the three little kings, are the discount code. That's cute. Ah, God. Sorry, you guys are gonna see me get a little bit judgmental over stuff like this. I really don't like prank channels. I don't even like pranks. That might be a controversial take. It has to be a really good prank for me to like it. I'm not gonna say I hate all pranks as a moral black and white this only. Mochi, have you come in to be adorable too? Yeah, it's gotta be really funny. It's gotta be good-hearted. It can't cause harm. Preferably it's not to children. But I don't like prank channels because even if you started with some really good pranks, there is just no way to have a consistent, long-running, the only thing you do is pranks, and have it not just get so annoying. There's only so many pranks you can do before you're just becoming desperate. Pranks are something that should be a once in a blue moon thing. Not a, we gotta get more views, we gotta crank it up, we gotta get Logan Paul level, we're setting up skate parks in the middle of the HOA and pissing off all our neighbors. Like, that's just what it turns into every single time. Like, please correct me in the comments if there is a prank channel that you really love, but what I can almost guarantee you don't have is a prank family channel that you really love. I already hate prank channels. I'm not typically very fond of family channels. There's some that I like. There are some who do it well. There are a lot more who are just like cringe and exploitative. So the fact that you got pranks on your kids, the kids are being used to sell stuff. I just made a video about this. I have a strong belief that children should have the right to revoke their consent to be in videos. There should be like a special channel even to say, hey, I'm a child and I don't want to be in this. And it should be like hyper respected, right? Because the fact of the matter is they're not entitled to any of this. When you make a channel, even when you feature other people, they're not getting royalties. You get the bag. These kids, she may be putting money in their college fund, she may be, but legally they're not entitled to any of this stuff. And so there's just a degree of cringe, because what kind of a kid wants to spend their childhood waking up every day with a camera in their face? But what's gonna happen is this channel's just gonna continue to grow. Like, people do love the relatability of certain family channels. I'm sure overall her content is fine. Overall. That one just really bugged me because while that might be a joke to her or like just a prank, that's the reality for a lot of homes. The prank part of it just like never really came. There was never like an explanation. There was never a grand reveal of like, well, the reason that I chose to do this was because you gave me an attitude this morning, you gave me an attitude this morning, you gave me an attitude this morning, and so I wanted to demonstrate that you clearly didn't like it. But that never came. She just like hoped they got it. Like, hope you understand where I'm coming from. Like, we don't. We are not mind readers. Most of us are babies. Most of us involved are minor children with barely any emotional intelligence. We say shit we should not say. We will straight up tell you, wow, you have a lot of pimples on your face. Dang, did you gain weight? You're getting fat. We're kids. We're not gonna read into the layers of what's going on and piece things together and do some callbacks. We're not like, what literary tropes does this behavior follow that I could lead to my final guesstimation of what this story was supposed to transpose? Like, your kids are what, 6, 7, and 8? That's not happening. That prank is just a lot of people's dinner on a regular basis. That prank is why a lot of us moved out at 18. That prank is why emancipation laws exist. Say I'm being dramatic, but there are very few feelings that I've experienced as bad as knowing you have to come home to even one person in your family or roommate situation who's going to treat you that way. And I know a lot of people agree.